Jack and Grill is the headline in the back of the Sun, lads. Jack Grealish and Phil Foden were dropped by Pep Guardiola for going on a night out after Manchester City's 7-0 win over Leeds United. Guardiola was unhappy with the condition the pair returned to a recovery session. I'm not sure he was there, believe it or not. I think he might have been
wasn't.
He was over in Barcelona at the Aguero, I think. So, but anyway, staff have passed the message on. The quote was, "It was not a rotation. At Christmas, I pay a lot of attention to behaviour on and off the pitch. And when off the pitch is not proper, they are not going to play. We try to create a good environment for our players and backroom staff to realise the dangers are still here. This is a worldwide problem. The virus is still here. The new variant is here." Now, all the boys like a Christmas night out. That's accepted. But I'm reading that quote for the first time, lads. It looks to me, and I might be wrong, although he's more unhappy with the fact that they've maybe put themselves in a position where the variant is out there rather than the night out itself. I mean, as I say, I don't know an awful lot about it, but players being disciplined for nights out, particularly around Christmas, isn't new, lads, is it?
No, not at all. I think it's an awkward one. It's a difficult one there because what's going on with the world, and that wasn't around when we was playing, was it? So you can still go out for a night out. You don't even think about you're going to catch something or cause havoc with your teammates or put people in a bad situation. So I think that's what he's getting to more. I don't think Pep Guardiola would mind you having a night out. I'm not too sure. It's what you do on a night out, Ali, isn't it? I mean, everybody's different. In my era, in the early 90s, it was mad. I mean, everyone's getting absolutely hammered. Yeah. But I don't think players are like that now. I think they look after themselves a lot better. They know when they've had enough, and whether they might go out and not even drink some of the guys. So it's I think that Pep's more or less saying, look, we've got to keep this environment and safe for everybody. And if you're going out in places where it's going to be packed and there'll be people who's probably got it in that area. Yeah. And I think that's why he's coming through more because they can't afford to be closed down. And
I think you're right. It's more what they could maybe bring back to the dressing room. He doesn't want that kind of scenario where there's an outbreak at the training ground, they're having to shut the training ground down. And I just think in the life and times where we are, you kind of have to think about that. I don't think it's because I'm with you. I mean, we've obviously seen Jack before have a good time when he was still at Aston Villa, but we've not seen that for a while.
No.
Phil Foden as well. He got into a little bit of mischief, didn't he, when he was away of England with Greenwood? But on the whole, they're good guys.
Yeah, they're young lads, aren't they?
They are young lads.
It's very difficult. I know you're a footballer and you're people who have loads of money, but you're still a human being. You still have to have that bit of a release for me, because you're thinking about football 24/7. Otherwise, I mean, you've got to have that little bit of a release with your friends. And
I think
you've got to do it at the right times.
It's getting a balance, isn't it?
Exactly
it's getting the balance. Listen, these are young guys, and regardless, of we know they're of course they're in a privileged position, earning lots of money and doing this and that next thing, but at the same time they do probably enjoy it like every other young fella, a night out with their pals and things like that. But it is, I can see obviously where Guardiola's coming from. It's just it's so important, and probably too important. And you look at particularly the run City are on, boys, dear me, they just look unstoppable. 11 goals in the last 2 games and having 2 clean sheets. They look incredible, mind you. However,
he's in a very good situation as well, Pep Guardiola, isn't he? He's got a squad where he can leave,
and they're all playing really well.
He can leave 2 top quality players out and still get away with it. I mean, you got Mahrez coming in, Sterling's there. You have got people to fill in.
Gabriel
no problem.
Jesus.
No problem whatsoever. So other teams might not be in that same position where they can say, well, we've got Grealish and Foden, 2 of our best players. We can't leave them out, really. So
I think I'm with you there, Ray, because you're right. Say, for instance, look at the situation at Chelsea, where they've got the injuries galore in the midfield, and obviously Thomas Tuchel tried to get the game called off. But as you said there, their squad's maybe not as thick as Manchester City's, and I think that's all Pep's trying to say, is that he doesn't want that scenario where you have to shut the training ground down, people are having to isolate. It's just a distraction you don't really need. It's unnecessary, I think.
Ray, I was going to say to you, mate, you'll be the same as Ben to myself. Delighted with the news yesterday that the PL meeting went ahead, and obviously they've decided to keep going with the fixtures. They'll monitor it. I'm obviously like the government, they're following government guidelines, but at the same time, I think it is a boost for everybody that the football's going to continue.
Oh, absolutely, Ali. I think over this period as well, I think people really get excited about football. I know the players sometimes don't, because you've got loads of games, and you could quickly, if you're having a bit of a nightmare, suddenly you get a couple of wins under your belt over this period, you can quickly get out of trouble and move up that league very quickly. But you can quickly go down it as well. We know that. but certainly for the people's well-being and love going to football, especially Boxing Day. I mean, Christmas Day was always a nice day indoors and everybody's enjoyed it, but can't wait for the sport on Boxing Day. You know, Kempton Park, racing and football start, everything gets back to where people go out on Boxing Day. So hopefully that can stay the same. And, you know, for the club's point of view, I think they've got to be a bit more clearer to say when you can call a game off, because we know Chelsea had that problem with a few players. They've got to have a rule to say, right, if you can prove that we've got 5 players in that squad, but then the game's off. Because I know for a fact that some managers have been, we were running out of players here, but we played the game still, and other teams are getting it called off.
Well,
so they've got to be a bit of fairness in the situation.
No, I agree with you. Naturally, I think it's going to benefit the teams with the bigger squads. That goes without saying. But probably more importantly, Ray Benty, I mean, I thought the postponement of the game with 2 hours to go, was it Villa Burnley?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a nightmare, lads. I mean, you think about the guys that be travelling that game with their kids or whatever it may be, wives and kids, the boys on the buses, boys on the trains. I mean, surely we can't allow that to happen.
That's right. There's got to be a message that's clearer, because, as you said, there's got to be some kind of protocol in place where it can't be 2 hours before a game, because that is one long distance. That is between Birmingham and Brighton. People have got all the way up there. People that have probably gone up there maybe from the night before. All that for nothing. There's got to be a clear kind of message that in terms of a time frame, it can't be 2 hours.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday morning 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.